can start right now. Thank you for coming. Thank you for attending this event. I'm sorry for my English. I am Juan Pascua, Executive Director of Utah Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. I have with me Carlos Trujillo. He's an immigration lawyer and is part of our board of directors. We have also to Randall Ser. He's our board chair. And I would like to introduce some points about the Utah Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. We are promoting the power and the skill of the Utah Hispanic community through support and advocacy as they assume their rightful place in our economy and society since 1991, okay? Our members are experiencing a labor shortage, just like many other businesses around the country. It's imperative that we acknowledge the legal authority that President Biden has to provide the relief for businesses. I would like to give the time to Carlos Trujillo to continue, and I will finish the final part. Thank you.
Thank you, Juan. It is a pleasure to be here with all of you, and it is a pleasure for the Chamber of Commerce to be supporting this initiative. It is crucial for the Chamber to highlight the invaluable contributions of Hispanic business owners in Utah. They are not only integral to our local economy, but also exemplify the spirit of entrepreneurship and hard work that has always defined our great nation. Hispanic-owned businesses have played a pivotal role in job creation, economic growth, and community development. Their success is a testament to the resilience and dedication of the Hispanic community in Utah. The economic benefits of expanding work permits cannot be overstated. It is vital that we emphasize the substantial economic advantage that this policy can offer. By providing long-term immigrant contributors with the opportunity to work legally, not only are we supporting immigrant families, but also invigorate our local and national economies. And let us make clear that the Here to Work initiative is not just a compassionate gesture, it is a strategic move to strengthen our economy here in the state of Utah. Therefore, we encourage anyone that is listening to the remarks and to this initiative to get involved and to participate and help make this happen. Thank you.
Yet, beyond the economic imperative, we must address the moral responsibility we have in this matter. Extending work authorization is not only economically beneficial, but it is also the morally right thing to do. These individuals have become an integral part of our society, and it is our duty to recognize their contributions. To President Biden, we extend a call to action. We urge you to take a morally and economically sound step by broadening work authorization for dedicated long-term immigrant contributors who are eager to join the workforce. Such a move will provide much needed relief to businesses in Utah and across the nation. They are grappling with the challenges posed by labor shortage. I will now like to introduce Mo Hickey, Executive Director of Voices for Utah Children.
Morning. Thank you to the Chamber for hosting. At Voices for Utah Children, we advocate and advance policies and practices that are good for all of Utah's children. As a state, we need to put families and well-being of approximately 38,000 children living with an undocumented family member above partisanship and legislative gridlock. Undocumented immigrants and mixed-status families are essential to our state. Recent estimates of Utah's undocumented immigrant population range from a high of 110,000 to a low of 79,000. According to data from the Utah State Tax Commission based on ITIN filings, 89% of all undocumented Utahns live in just 7 counties: Salt Lake, Utah, Weber, Davis, Tooele, Box Elder, and Morgan. Also, according to the ITEP study, undocumented Utahns paid $69 million in state and local taxes in 2017. This amounts to an average of $1,789 per household. 69% of the population is employed, 28% are not currently in the workforce, and 3% are unemployed. 65% of that population also speaks English well or very well. But more importantly, we're talking about real people who are vital members of our community. They live across the state and enrich us all with their presence. The ability to work with a work authorization will strengthen the economic stability of mixed-status households. As an organization, Voices recognizes the well-being of a child is connected to a parent's ability to work, provide, and have a steady income to meet the needs of their families, from food to housing to health care. We believe that we all have a moral and civic responsibility to support and advocate for these families. We do thank Governor Cox for his support and urge him to continue his advocacy on immigration reform as chair of the National Governors Association. We also join the call to urge President Biden to take immediate action through his authority and legal discretion to extend work authorization for long-term immigrant contributors like those living in our state, working in some of our most essential industries. Thank you.
Good morning, all. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Enrique Sanchez, and I'm the Intermountain State Director for the American Business Immigration Coalition, ACTION. ABIC ACTION is a bipartisan organization dedicated to the promotion and advocacy of legislation, regulations, and government programs that promote common sense state and federal immigration reform to benefit the people and economy of our country. For me, the Here to Work campaign hits close to home. As a dreamer and a DACA recipient, I understand that the struggles and aspirations of immigrants who, like myself, have been granted a chance to contribute to this great nation. I am an immigrant myself, the son of former agriculture worker. My father had to miss my birth while picking fruits and vegetables in the United States. Utah has a rich history of immigrants contributing to the fabric of our society, and it is heartening to see my home state embrace initiatives like Here to Work. Just as Mormon immigrants left a lasting mark on Utah's history, today's immigrants have been contributing to the state and its economy for decades, further enriching the tapestry of our vibrant community. In a broader national context, we must also acknowledge the pressing issue our country is facing today, a multifaceted labor shortage. This shortage affects businesses, communities, and states across the United States, and Utah is no exception. It is essential to recognize that this is not a regional problem. It is a nationwide challenge that requires innovative solutions. President Biden could offer much-needed relief to millions of long-term immigrant contributors and businesses in Utah and nationwide by taking immediate administrative action to grant them work permits. 1 in 9 Utah workers is an immigrant, making up a vital part of the state's labor force and making up the largest shares in construction, manufacturing, and accommodation and food services. All vital industries in the Beehive State, particularly as we anticipate the potential return of the Winter Olympics. Nationwide, community leaders, business stakeholders, and faith communities are coming together, united in their call for an administrative expansion of work permits for long-term immigrants who have been contributing to our society for decades. Common sense solutions exist within the framework of our existing laws. solutions that will benefit our entire economy. It is imperative that our elected officials utilize the tools at their disposal to address this issue. We urge President Biden to exercise his considerable legal authority and discretion to extend work authorization for long-term immigrant contributors. In light of the ongoing legislative gridlock in Congress regarding immigration solutions, we must leverage the existing laws to create a positive impact on our communities, our businesses, and our nation. There are millions of essential unfilled job openings and millions of undocumented immigrants who are ready to work. Before I conclude, I would like to convey our appreciation to the local officials and their representatives who have joined us today. We encourage your support for this initiative, offering a breath of fresh air for Utah business owners and long-term immigrants who are a part of our community. We also hope that Governor Cox will continue to be a strong advocate for immigrants in Utah through his role as chair of the National Governors Association. And now, it is my distinct honor to introduce Michelle Carigliano, the Executive Director of the Salt Lake Area Restaurant Association.
Thank you for having me here today. My name is Michelle Carigliano, and I serve as the Executive Director of the Salt Lake Area Restaurant Association. We represent the independent restaurant and bar owners in Salt Lake County and throughout the entire state of Utah. At SLARA, we engage in ongoing research within Salt Lake's restaurant industry, focusing on both the legal landscape and emerging marketing trends. And this is why I'm here, to discuss a matter of paramount significance to our industry, the extension of work authorization for long-term immigrant contributors. In recent years, the restaurant industry, like many other industries across the nation, have been grappling with the persistent and profound shortage of labor. This shortage, compounded by a variety of factors, has posed significant difficulties for restaurant owners, employees, and the patrons that frequent these restaurants. The aim of our discussion today is not only to address this issue head-on, but to also recognize the potential solution that lies with extending work authorization to long-term immigrant contributors. This is an issue that touches the core of our industry and, indeed, our communities. We are no stranger to the challenge of labor shortage, and as we face legislative gridlock on comprehensive immigration solutions, we must leverage the existing laws at our disposal to bring solutions to our restaurant owners in Salt Lake County and around the country. This isn't just about rules and regulations. It's about recognizing the economic boost that will come from extending work permits. And this isn't just about helping long-term immigrant contributors. It's also a chance to pump some fresh energy into our local and national economies, giving our restaurants and communities a real boost. Our call is not just to the President, but to our fellow Americans as well. We must urge President Biden to take a morally and economically sound step by broadcasting work authorization for dedicated long-term immigrant contributors eager to force. Such a move will provide much-needed relief to businesses in Utah and across the nation, grappling with the challenges posed by these labor shortages. We applaud Governor Cox's support in finding common sense solutions for our members and long-term immigrant contributors who are ready to work. We appreciate the governor's dedication to seeking these solutions, and as the chair of the National Governors Association, we encourage him to persist in his past advocacy and to continue to do so for all Utah businesses. We recognize the state leadership also plays a vital role in driving the change we seek, and Governor Cox's commitment to set a valuable example for everyone. When we think about our favorite restaurants, we're not just envisioning places where we enjoy delicious meals. We're picturing the heart and soul of our communities. Restaurants provide jobs, they bring neighbors together, they create cherished memories, and they really create a community. By advocating for the extension of work authorization for dedicated long-term immigrant contributors, we're not only supporting these community members and their families, but we're also ensuring that our beloved restaurants can keep their doors open. With this vital help, they'll continue to serve Utahns, fostering the vibrant and diverse culinary landscape that we all hold dear. We must work together on this endeavor because it's not just about work permits. It's about preserving the places we love and the communities we hold dear. So, thank you. Now I'd like to introduce Sergio Rea from JR Outdoor Living.
Good morning. My name is Sergio Rea from. Good morning. My name is Sergio Rea, owner of JR Outdoor Living. We are a full landscape, hardscape, landscape maintenance, and outdoor living company located out of Park City. We provide a variety of landscape services for residential and commercial properties. I'm here to talk about something really important in the landscape industry: extending work authorization for long-term immigrant contributors. Extending work permits can give a boost to our local and national economies, and that's a win-win for all of us. It's not just a humanitarian act, it's like giving the landscape sector an energy shot. But beyond all the legal stuff and economics, we can't forget the moral side to this. Extending work authorization is the right thing to do. Immigrant landscapers have become a fundamental part of the industry, bringing skills and dedication to our work to better our work. Let me tell you about JR Outdoor Living. We've had the privilege of working with immigrant landscapers who played a huge role in our success. The passion of creating beautiful outdoor spaces, the strong work ethic and dedication has been very inspiring. They haven't just built gardens, they built strong bonds in our community. Our team, led by some incredible immigrant landscapers, worked tirelessly planting flowers, installing pathways, and sculpting picturesque scenery. They also built something that can't be measured in square feet or gardens. They build a sense of community. Neighbors who had previously been strangers come out of their homes to see the progress and end up becoming our friends. People start spending more time outdoors, talking and sharing stories, all thanks to the beautiful outdoor spaces our team creates. So I'm standing here today to ask President Biden to use legal authority through existing law and extend work authorization and parole for hardworking, long-term immigrant contributors in landscaping. It's not only to help businesses like ours that are struggling with labor shortages, but also to make the landscape community more welcoming, caring, and prosperous. I would now like to introduce Mayra Molina of Alianza Venezolana de Utah. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Mayra Molina. I'm deeply honored to be here with you guys as a representative of the Venezuelan Alliance of Utah, advocating for this topic of immense significance to our community, extending work authorization for long-term immigrants contributors. As a Venezuelan community that has benefited from programs implemented by the Biden administration, we understand the value of such initiatives. However, we also recognize that our long-term immigrant brothers and sisters have yet to see a comprehensive solution. We are here to urge President Biden to exercise his legal authority to grant these dedicated long-term contributors the right to work and continue to enrich our state. We believe that the time is right for the President to act, to extend the same opportunities that many of us have enjoyed to those who have patiently waited and rightfully earned. We unite today as Hispanics and Latinos, transcending borders and backgrounds, to advocate for common sense solutions that not only benefit our immigrant families, but also fortify businesses and stimulates the economy. It is crucial to emphasize that our advocacy is rooted in the recognition that a thriving immigrant workforce is a boon for us all. We must acknowledge the significant legal authority and discretion President Biden has. In the face of a legislative gridlock in Congress regarding immigration solutions, we must recognize that the power to make a positive impact exists within the framework of the existing laws. Leveraging this authority is not merely a matter of politics, but a practical approach to addressing the pressing needs for our long-term immigrant brothers and sisters. Extending work authorization is not only a smart move, but is, above all, the moral thing to do. We express our gratitude to Governor Cox for his unwavering support in finding practical solutions for long-term immigrant contributors. We genuinely appreciate his commitment to advocating for sensible changes and encourage him to persist in his role as the chair of the National Governors Association. We look to him to continue to urge President Biden to implement solutions that will benefit businesses and families in our state. President Biden, we implore you to take a morally and economically sound step by expanding the work authorization for dedicated long-term immigrant contributors who are eager to join the workforce. Such a move will offer much-needed relief to businesses in Utah and across the nation. This represents an opportunity for our nation to move forward, to stand on the side of compassion, economic growth, and justice. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Marinda Cutler. I'm with Mormon Women for Ethical Government, where I'm the Immigration Advocacy Director. We are also known as MWEG. We are not affiliated with or endorsed by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, but our faith inspires us to advocate for good policy that builds a more peaceful, just, and ethical world. Among our other advocacy priorities, we advocate for broad, non-discriminatory, and compassionate immigration reform that adheres to the rule of law, prioritizes legitimate national interests, respects human rights, and responds to humanitarian crises. As a small business owner myself, I often lease apartments to some of Utah's amazing immigrant and guest workers. We have a professor and his family from Asia living in one of our properties, a restaurant worker from Central America, and even a traveling nurse who made the border crossing from faraway Idaho. As a mother, my children benefit from an excellent dual language immersion program staffed by native-speaking teachers who now live here with their families. I'm so happy these Utah immigrants are here to work. We need them, and in many cases, they need us. As my friend and global economist Lant Pritchett wrote, the refusal to allow people to cross national borders as economic migrants distorts the trajectory of technological change in ways that makes everybody, especially the world's poor, worse off. Our need for more workers and professionals in Utah causes foreign-born workers to migrate here, making up about 8% of our Utah population. In turn, they add to the rich economic and social fabric of our new communities, and in many cases, bring back to their home countries that richness. We need more legal pathways to support these mutually beneficial migrations. David Beer of the Cato Institute notes, contrary to public perception, immigrants cannot simply wait and get a green card after a few years. Legal immigration is less like waiting in line and more like winning the lottery. One of my friends here today, Liliana, is a recent BYU grad who has lived here since she was a child. Under DACA, she is contributing to our economy and society through her work in the legal profession, as well as her advocacy work at MWEG and Utah with All Immigrants. I long for the day when people like Liliana and so many thousands of others will have permanent status here. According to the American Immigration Council, 12% of self-employed Utah business owners are immigrants, with their businesses generating $453 million in annual revenue. My friend, whom I will call a friend, is such a business owner. He came to the U.S. in the 90s as a teen to escape violence in Central America. He served a mission for the LDS Church, married one of my closest friends, started a small business, and is raising a beautiful family. Despite his contributions to our economy and community, after 17 years of legal limbo, he was finally able to receive permanent status, so he and his family could finally stop living in fear. We must do better. We call on Governor Cox and other leaders to step up in strong support of policy that acknowledges the wealth of talent and labor we already have here in Utah. We must provide more solutions for long-term immigrants like Liliana and a friend to live and work here freely, as well as those who cannot safely return to their countries of origin. While we wait for Congress to pass long overdue comprehensive and compassionate immigration reform, we urge President Biden to use all the tools he has available to him through existing laws to provide work authorization and expand humanitarian parole for our beloved friends and neighbors here in Utah.
Thank you. I'd now like to invite Joseph Gendra with Salt Lake County Mayor Jenny Wilson, Wilson's office, representing her Office of New Americans.
Good morning to each and everyone here. My name is Joseph Gendra. I originally came here from Sierra Leone as a refugee. And 2 years ago, I was hired by Mayor Jenny Wilson to run her office for New Americans. So I'm here to represent her. Something came up abruptly, I mean, she couldn't make it. So I'm reading from the script that was prepared, I mean, to be delivered to you here. Okay. So I applaud recent announcements by the Biden-Harris administration to accelerate the employment authorization document processing times utilizing current statutory authority. I understand that the Department of Homeland Security will expedite employment authorization processing for individuals who have paroled into the United States by making an appointment through the CBP1 mobile app. Individuals who have applied for temporary protected status, TPS, or Cubans, Haitians, Nicaraguans, Venezuelans who are paroled for up to 2 years. At the local level, my administration and I can support federal efforts to raise public awareness about these efforts and encourage those members of the population who are eligible to apply for employment authorization who have not taken the critical step yet. However, there are limitations to what my administration can accomplish on its own without legislative action. We all know that our immigration in the United States is patchwork system that is not serving the country. The Utah delegation, including Senator Romaine and Representative Curtis, as well as President Biden, have long called on Congress to consider and pass comprehensive immigration reform legislation. As a society, we know that modernizing our broken immigration system is critical for communities like Salt Lake County and our local businesses to continue to grow. I understand that it will take a lot of political will for lawmakers to forge bipartisan consensus on broad overhaul that will become increasingly difficult with an election year on the horizon. In the interim, Congress can take a meaningful first step by passing legislation to expedite the process of prospective asylees to apply for and obtain an employment authorization document. The Asylum Seeker Work Authorization Act of 2023 has been introduced in the House as H.R. 1325 and in the Senate as S.255. While the U.S. and Senate versions have slightly different approaches, both have revised Section 208D2 of Immigration and Naturalization Act to reduce the EAD processing timeline for asylum applicants from 180 days to just 30 days. The proposed reforms would help businesses to address employment gaps across several industries and reduce the burden on local communities, providing assistance to asylum seekers. The legislation will also reduce ongoing administrative burdens on those individuals and businesses. I commend the bipartisan lawmakers who have introduced these common sense solutions, and I urge Congress to pass legislation to reduce these wait times for asylum seekers who are eligible to receive employment authorization. We should collectively take every step possible to get potential workers who are eligible, able, and willing into the workforce and grow our local economies as soon as possible. Again, I'm grateful to be here to represent Mayor Jenny Wilson of Salt Lake County. I'm Joseph Gendra, the New American Refugee Liaison. Thank you.
Thank you all. To conclude, we want to reiterate and urge President Biden to exercise his considerable legal authority and discretion to extend work authorization for long-term immigrants who have been contributing to this great nation for decades and who are here to work. We appreciate our co-sponsors, the Utah Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, as well as Voices for Utah Children, for allowing us to gather here today, and I appreciate everyone who's here, especially our speakers. Thank you all very much, and this concludes our press conference. I do want to let our audience know that there are signs around the room with a QR code where you can endorse this campaign for your organization. So please scan that QR code and fill out that form. Thank you very much.